Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson with a weather update for you. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued moments ago by the National Weather Service office in Grand Forks for this Cooperstown area storm. It's moving off to the east-southeast. You see here the hail core heading right in toward the Laverne area. Here are the specifics on this storm. I'm going to go ahead and make myself just a little smaller in the corner here so you can see the details with me. First things to keep in mind is the warning was issued for your area there in Griggs, Barnes, and portions of Steele County as well. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are the main threat, as you can see here. It is moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. We're going to track this here in just a second for you, as only we do, and we'll analyze where that hail core is as well. The main impacts will be damage to vehicles possible, as well as some wind damage to roof and trees. So you want to make sure you're seeking shelter in that interior room. Stay away from those windows as this storm passes through. It's a fairly potent one indeed. Here's a loop of the radar, and you can see the history of this Lone Ranger thunderstorm out there as it made its way out of the Foster and Eddy County areas, moved right over Cooperstown, and is now heading in towards Sibley and Laverne. So there's that southeast movement. The hail core was a little bit stronger just a couple of scans ago, likely when the warning was issued, but this is still a very stout thunderstorm. It looked like just north of Hannaford here is where that core was the brightest as it crossed that Highway 1 corridor just off to the south and west of you in Cooperstown. So the main hail core has likely missed your area. But now let's take a look at some of the analytics for the storm, and let's go ahead and track this puppy. Now, there's the core of the storm right there heading in that general direction of Page, North Dakota. It's about 30 miles away from that Page area. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at the track of the storm and what towns are going to be in the path of it, moving at that clip of about, 25 to 30 miles per hour. So here we go. If you happen to be in Laverne within about 15 minutes, the hail core will be near you. You're going to be getting some rain moving in right now. In fact, those skies are likely darkening as we speak. So again, if you do have some comments here or questions or observations about the storm, go ahead and let me know right here. Drop me a line and let me know that you're with me here. And if you have any reports of hail, we like you to measure the largest stone that you find and the largest diameter of that stone. Sometimes they're not perfectly round. So you take the longest oblong end and measure from end to end on that. So Laverne, within about 10 to 15 minutes, the storm will be over the top of you. Pillsbury, by the time we get to 25 minutes from now, that current timestamp up at the top there, 8:49, is what we have going on. Hi, Paula. It's good to have you on board. Brenda, it's good to have you on board as well. Normally I'm on doing a forecast video, but we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's working its way through out there. South of Cooperstown is this strong cell heading right into Laverne now, heading towards Page within about, like I said, about 49 minutes. It just updated. Hey, good morning. Pesky cell moving through the higher dew points too. Yeah, indeed it is. And our air today not super sticky, but you can see here we have more storms on the hoof of this one, or on the heels of this one. These storms are generally non-severe. We do have a little bit more lightning down on the far southern flank, so out towards Ashley and Wishick, out in that area, we're seeing some stout lightning taking place. And also the Carrington area having a pretty good amount of lightning with the cell that's making its way right over your neck of the woods right now. 64 is your temperature. So these storms moving through mainly rural parts of the area. Notice the trajectory of the cell that's working its way out of the Cooperstown area is heading in the general vicinity of the Fargo-Moorhead area. Now, it is moving in that right direction as well. And judging by how the crow flies here, we can give you an estimate. That is 60 miles away as the crow flies from the core of the hail to west parts of Fargo, West Fargo. So 60 miles away, it's moving at about 30 miles per hour. That's a couple of hours out yet. So it's approaching that 9 o'clock hour right now. And what that means is, well, we're going to be pushing a little bit closer to that 10:45 to 11 time frame before that storm that is now severe warned works its way in. A couple of other features of this storm, locally heavy rain. We can take a look at the the rain that this storm has produced along its track as it moved out of the New Rockford area. The colors you're seeing here are indicative of rainfall that has fallen or estimated to have fallen by the Doppler radar. And what we can do here is we can query what those colors mean. And in that Cooperstown area here, now hail can cause these to be off just a little bit. Thank you all so very, very much for sharing stars out there. Paula and Brian, I appreciate all of you over the years, months, I should say, who have shared stars. Radar estimates, 1.3 inches from this gully washer here. Now, hail can skew these digits just a little bit, but under thunderstorms, we can sometimes get a solid gush of water upwards of an inch. It looks like many along the path of the storm have seen upwards of a ½ inch to an inch of rain, and that's what's heading into that Sibley and Laverne area right now. Let's take a look at the hail estimates here. Well, we'll go ahead and look at another product Hutch likes to look at. Here is where the hail core is on the latest scan. Again, it's moving into that general direction of you folks out there in Laverne at this time. So if you are in Laverne, that hail core where you see the pink there, well, let me see, it's not moving in that direction, Hutch. Let's go ahead and use the right tool. How far is that hail core from Laverne? It's about 5 miles away, moving at about 30 miles per hour. Dan, thank you so very, very much for your support of stars. You all are the very goodest. You know, one of the beauties about Hutch's weather here is you give me the feedback. The other thing we can do is take a look at some cameras out in the area. So I'm going to do that right now. I have the freedom to pull up this information on the go here, on the fly. I am not confined by a lot of things that I have been confined by when it comes to severe weather coverage in the past. So let's just leave it at that. Now, as we take a look in these areas, there's not a ton of cameras up there, but let's go ahead and get in that general vicinity of Cooperstown and point south. So here's Carrington. We do have some thunder showers moving through your area. Let's see. Let's get right here by this Griggs County area, just off to the west of Cooperstown. So this camera here, Glenfield, let's go ahead and pull that up full screen. You can see those darker clouds in the distance. Let me see if we can see anything fun from them. Nope, there's the road surface, and I can tell you, I'm very excited and happy to report that there is no snow on the road at that juncture there. And here's a look at the dark clouds that are heading in the general direction of the Carrington area. This is a view from Bowdoin. As you can see here, the skies, oh, there you go. That's dark skies, heavy rain from that cell that's in the general direction of Carrington. So again, that's around that US Highway 52 area there. So those storms there making their way through. Let's take a look at the line of storms that is extended from and near the Cooperstown, New Rockford area. Let's go right up into New Rockford and take a look here in your area. And those showers exiting. Ooh, there's the dark skies. Outside of New Rockford, you're looking at US Highway 281 here, and you can see the certainly dark skies that are heading through the eastern reaches of your county, showing here on the Doppler radar. And speaking of which, let's get right back to that radar. Thank you very much, Avis. I appreciate your kind words. Hutch ran out between broadcasts and did a little lawn mowing. I did some lawn work today. I got some watering system hooked up for my my fun flowers that I've been planting. Saw there were tornado warnings along the international border earlier too. Yeah, you know what? There was some nasty warnings right in Winnipeg too from some storms last night. So well, let's go ahead and take a broader look, Scott, now that you mention it, because our area here has some thunderstorm activity going on. We have an active warning. It's moving right in to Laverne right now. So if you're in Laverne, seek shelter. And if you happen to be in Laverne, please let me know what kind of hail that you're seeing with regards to this storm. Now, this is live coverage happening right now. My time on the clock on the computer here says 9:05. So let me put the right radar scan up here, and we'll go ahead and load this puppy up. So we're looking at the latest scan coming in at about 9:02 right there. That's heading into Laverne. Here's what's going on up near the international border. You can see some storms that are making their way toward the Estevan area. There's some strong storms moving right through the old Highway 2 corridor there. That looks to be north of Poplar and Brockton. Yep, there's Brockton. I've been on that road many times back there. My grandpa was a farmer out there in that area, and that's going right over the crops there north of Brockton. So keep that in mind. That is not a severe thunderstorm, but there's some thunder showers making their way through those areas. So here's a look at the international border area into Roseau County. Storms moving out of the Winnipeg area. And well, they're heading right into the Hallock area right now. Now, again, not severe. Let me go ahead and put on the high resolution radar here. That'll get rid of some of this pixelated pixie stuff that we're seeing here. Couple of bolts of thunder showing up, or lightning, I should say. Let's get to the Mayville radar here, get a little bit closer. Again, the stoutest storm is not far from Emerson, near just north of Lancaster. So if we take a look at how the crow flies here, let's see how far away that is from Lancaster. Oh, let's see here. There we go. So that is about 18 miles north of the Lancaster area as the crow flies. So that's what's going on right now. We have showers, some rumbles of thunder. One storm has become severe. We have not had a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings out there this year. Just a reminder for those of you, one of the interesting things to keep in mind when it comes to severe thunderstorms is that they can produce a lot of very heavy rain. So locally, we could have that flooding, and that is the number one related thunderstorm killer. As a matter of fact, more people lose their lives to flooding and flash flooding than any other severe thunderstorm or thunderstorm event. This storm's taken on more of a wicked and strong bend as it works its way in. Look at the increase in the pink pixels that we see as it's working its way in. This is the high resolution reflectivity. Let's go ahead and reload that. Yeah, so let's take a look at some velocities. Is this storm spinning? Now, the atmosphere and environment over our area, not necessarily the best for that today. We certainly didn't come out saying we're going to have a risk of tornadoes today, but we can certainly look at the Doppler radar data inside the storm. And no, Hutch does not see that this storm is rotating, tightly in any particular area here, at least on the most recent scan. So that's kind of one good thing here. So we take a look at it making its way through the Hannaford area. With the hail that was just to the south of you. So there's a look at that. Let's take a look at the base velocity here. One thing this can do, because this is not really staring. No, I'm going to take that back. I was going to say it might be a good location to look at how fast the winds are blowing, but this is across the radar beam. And when we have, see, the radar beam is coming from Mayville, from this direction here. And the winds from this storm are going to be blowing this direction across the radar beam. Guess what, folks? The Doppler radar will not be able to give us any wind measurement of use from that wind that's going to be moving into Laverne and Sibley. So if you do have some damage from winds or anything like that, please let me know. Watching from Melissa, Texas. All right, Rachel, it's good to have you on board. I hope things are good there. I know there's been some wild Texas weather. Both tonight and here over the last several days, a lot of flooding going on down there on the Gulf Coast. And as we take a quick peek at the weather, I will go ahead and use my time here to update you on the local weather forecast as well. That's coming up next. Amanda, thank you so much. Check this out. New Orleans, you are in a tornado watch down there in the deep south near Baton Rouge and New Orleans and all the way up toward Jackson. And this goes all the way up to Lafayette. So those areas under a tornado watch. Lake Charles, we have flash flood warnings in all these bright green outlines here around Lake Charles from these heavy rain-producing storms. And the Houston area getting hit quite hard with some very heavy rain as well. So keep in mind, these areas have gotten a lot of rain. It looks like the flood warnings are not in effect in Houston as the storms are now working their way through. But we got a new tornado warning south of Lake Arthur out there. We can look at what parish that's in for you folks down there. But this tornado warning, radar indicated tornado, this is basically for the Cameron Parish and the Vermilion Parish out there in southwestern Louisiana, moving east at 40 miles per hour. If nothing else, this gives you all just a little bit of a feel for Hutch's capabilities to cover severe weather anytime, anywhere, right here. And what's going on now, let's see. This storm is making its way right into the Laverne area. So let's get you back to a look at our local radar. I'm going to turn that on right now. And if you're in Laverne, the hail core is moving right over you as we speak. Now, there's a lot of pink involved in that, and that's where the hail core is likely the strongest right there. Let me get a different color pencil here because that red doesn't show up very good on a red outline. So maybe we'll just go with white. because you can't go wrong there. Let's go ahead and, okay, so here is the hail core. That is where things are the most likely to be producing hail. It looks like it is literally right over the top of you folks in Laverne. As the crow flies from town, let's go way in here. So from the north side of town, let's measure it right there to where the hail core is being picked up is in yards. Okay, 1,500 yards is what Hutch's measurement is showing up here at the top of your screen. I'll take the banner off so you can see where the measurement is. See where it says 1,583 yards? Okay, so that's how far it is. No, that's not a golf shot. That is a potential for some 1-inch diameter hail from this particular storm that we're tracking right here as it's working its way into the Laverne area right now. Let's see if we have any other data here to give us some information regarding the, oh, I know. Let me turn this on. This is another setting on my radar here. Let's go with the tracks, and this might give me some more data from the National Weather Service's radar too, as to what they're seeing. Pardon me. All right. So this storm moving into the Laverne area here, the information on it is the max hail size potential showing up here, 1.25 inches of hail. That's not necessarily what's going to make its way down to the ground. That's what the radar is seeing. Paula, thank you for your stars. You all are the very best. Thanks for your support. The probability of hail is 100%. There's going to be people getting hail with this, but the probability or likelihood of severe hail is 60% from that storm. The best chance of severe hail is right here where we see the pink area, and that's where the radar is detecting the largest hail stones. And let's go ahead and look at this puppy in 3D, shall we, and take a look at that. So let's lean this back. Let's go with a volumetric type scan. Let me close this, and let me see here. Okay, let me close that. Let me go back to 3D. Let's just do this. Okay, I'm gonna have to back up just a little bit. We're kind of close. So this is giving me an idea of where that hail core is the strongest as we look at that storm that's working its way in toward the Laverne area. And let's go ahead and just look at the two-dimensional radar scan from a higher elevation angle. So let's look at that. That's kind of fun, huh? So I'm gonna go to the high-res reflectivity, and let's go up one step in elevation angle, and here we go. And there's the scan up above. Now notice this scan doesn't have any pink in it. So what that means is the radar is detecting some of the strongest radar returns at the lowest elevation, which is closest to the ground. What does that mean? That means those hailstones are likely on their way down to the ground right now. Here's a little higher yet elevation, 1.3 degrees of elevation angle, showing that we're seeing more oranges here. So the reflectivity or the intensity of what the radar beam is bouncing off of, not as high. And that means that the up higher up in the cloud here, we're not seeing as much hail core. And there's the top of the cloud there, elevation angle 1.8, not seeing as much with regards to that. So there's a look at the different reflectivities that we're getting as we scan up through the cloud. Kind of a cool thing. We have our animals outside, says Brooke, and we are in between Thompson and Grand Forks. What should we expect? Well, I'll tell you what. There's a line of storms between Thompson and Grand Forks. These are generally moving out of Carrington. You can see this white line showing the movement of this particular storm in the general direction. The risk of severe, I'm going to tell you, for the rest of the night, Brooke, is very low. It's just very low. This storm system here is just right. It's away from the rest of the line of thunderstorms, so it's getting all of the energy of the atmosphere. Let's take a look at some of the other measurements that we have. The bottom line is that these storms, as the crow flies here, are working their way in the general direction of you folks in Thompson and Grand Forks. And that's 84.5 miles away. Moving at about 30 miles per hour. You do the math, that's 2.5 hours away. So these can speed up a little bit. So let's leave it at that 2.5 hour time frame. So 2 hours from now is 11:15. Add a half hour to that, that's 11:30 to 11:45 before those storms get to you. Will they be severe? The likelihood of that is not good at all. This cell here is strong, and it's been strong. As I take a look at the radar loop here, you can kind of track with me. I'll go back 30 frames, and I'll tell you what time it starts at here. It's going to reload this for us. Okay, so if we go back, let me just hit the play button here. Okay, so that's back till before 8 o'clock. So this is about 7:30. It moved west of Cooperstown, slid by Cooperstown and put just south. And that storm has remained fairly strong. But the pink reflectivities have only really become a thing once it started crossing the Highway 200 corridor there outside of Glenfield. Right there, we started seeing some more pinks. Those are the higher reflectivities at the lower elevation angles of that particular storm. Let's see if I can look at some echo tops here, see how tall this thunderstorm is, give us some information on that real quickly as I look at those yellow colors there. This is a 37,000 foot cloud. Okay, so if you're in the Fargo area now, you might be able to look off to the north and west, okay, out towards Cooperstown, and you might see this thunderstorm tower out there. It's kind of the one before the main line that's making its way towards us. We do have another thunderstorm way out to the west. We can take a look at the Bismarck radar here and see what those storms are doing. Essentially, our risk of severe overnight is going to drop way down simply because we don't have a lot of energy or a lot of support for these storms to be strong or to persist into the deep night hours. Thank you, Sherry, so much for your stars. Tiffany says, hey, Hutch from Comstock. Tiffany, I always have appreciated your pictures, and I have some good news coming to all of my loyal viewers coming up very soon when it comes to Hutch's weather and expanding it. So I'm really excited. I'm going to share some real exciting news with you soon once I get everything working through. But looking at the sky, it looks like it could rain again. Already have 4.1 inches of rain, Tiffany says, in Comstock. Tiffany, let me know when that fell. Are you talking about 4.1 inches of rain for the season, or is that for this month? Or did you get that this week? So I'd love to hear your answer on that. Let me know. Sherry, thanks for the stars. You guys are all the very best for your support of Hutch. Missy, thank you for the stars as well. Let's check in on that storm. I want to look at something really cool. This is a meteorological tool. The radar that we have up at the Mayville area from the National Weather Service Forecast Office, it's called a dual polarization radar. What does that mean? Wow. What does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. Here you go. When the radar beam goes out, we can have different polarized pulses. Some are sent out with their polarization this way. Some are sent out with their polarization this way. So let's say we get a raindrop in a cloud that's perfectly round, okay? Or let's say a hailstone that's perfectly round. The radar beam that's oriented this way or polarized this way and the radar beam that's polarized this way will both, because the object is the same size in both polarization axes, it's going to look the same to the radar in both polarization modes, if you will. Okay, but if we have a flat pancake of a raindrop, then this orientation will catch the whole pancake and a lot of energy will reflect off of that. But when we have the beam that's polarized this way, there's going to be a difference in the amount of energy between those two polarized channels, if you will. And we'll see different values from the same raindrop or the same cluster of raindrops, to be more accurate. So what does this show? Well, it can help us define where there's raindrops versus where there's hailstones in the radar. Dual polarization data is really cool. Let's go back to that radar and have a look at that. So checking out the dual polarization radar here. Here's Laverne, and we'll go back and I don't want to go back 30 frames. Let's just go back 14 here. And we'll look at this dual polarization radar and see if we could see the hail core. We're looking at a product called the correlation coefficient. What that means is how correlated are the drops. If they're highly correlated, they're highly like each other and they're just rain. So colors in red means everything's kind of alike. But if we see blue in there or gray, then that would be an indication of maybe that there's some hail in this core. So is there hail? Do you see these green pixels right here? Those have a lower correlation. Okay, so maybe some hail in and around that particular area just near Laverne. Is anybody in Laverne watching? I'd love to hear from you and see what you're seeing with regards to the hail core. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more product here called differential reflectivity. And just like we were talking about, the reflectivity from the polarized axis that's horizontal versus vertical can be different with different shaped objects that the radar is picking up. So here you go. Now, highly different reflectivities. Highly different is rain, right? because raindrops are more often pancake shaped than they are perfectly round. You look at pictures of raindrops that we artists draw, or us meteorologists, and I'm not a very good drawer. Here, back where we see these gray colors, that's where the best chance of the hail is right now. And some of this might be pretty good size just on the south side of Laverne. So this radar is picking up there on Elevator Road. That might be where we're seeing some bigger hail, where we see the gray colors here. Okay, so that's just a tool to help Hutch take a look in real time at where things are. So let's go back to the normal radar view. There's your warning. The storm is right smack dab in the middle. Look at this. We've got some blue pixels in here, okay? So the radar is picking up intensity that is quite strong right near Laverne right now, and it's also picking up that differential reflectivity right in town. So when the radar beam shoots up over the top of your town like this, okay, it's seeing the hailstones that are up high, not necessarily what's on the ground. So, pardon me, but what falls down to the ground may be different, and it may be in a different place than we see it up aloft, okay? So, the radar is picking up a nice hail core right here, right near Laverne. The hail that the radar sees is up in the cloud. What's hitting the ground? Well, that might be something a little bit different. But let me know what you're getting out there, and we'll go over the forecast here in just a little bit. In fact, let's go over it right now. Let's see what the latest high-resolution model shows for the forecast. Okay, there's your little storm right there. You see it? That little pimple up there on Highway 200? This model has that storm. Okay, that's a good sign, right? Because that means this model's starting off with real business. And it doesn't have as solid of a line as the radar is showing back off to the west near the you folks in Carrington. But let me get this to the current time here. So as we step this out to around 10 o'clock, you can see the storm is expected to be going into Trail County, right over the radar in Mayville. So for you folks in and around the Thompson area and Grand Forks, this main storm is expected to go maybe between Thompson and Hillsboro, probably closer to Hillsboro and Fargo than it will be up north, okay? Notice the rest of the line kind of fizzling out as we go through the overnight hours, okay? So here you're looking at about 2 a.m. and that main line is just kind of fizzling out. But as we go towards daybreak, this is your time for daybreak. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in Lakes Country, Thief River Falls, Bemidji. You folks, will they be strong to severe? It doesn't look like it. So, Jessica, in answer to your question, what direction is this moving? The severe thunderstorm is moving southeast. It's moving right towards northwestern Cass County right now. So a look at the radar, you can see that the Page area is in the path of the storm right now. How long will it take to get there? Let's go ahead and do our tracking of the storm. It's moving southeast. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour. Hutch will get his calculator out. I'll say, okay, let's see what we got. Pillsbury, 10 minutes away from your area. Walden, 22 minutes away. And it's mainly over rural parts of the county right now. So that's a strong thunderstorm, and it's still showing some very vibrant pinks there. Okay, so those reflectivities that the radar is seeing is quite high. That's moving in a southeast direction. It's staying fairly strong, and Hutch will keep his eyes on it here for you as well as we head into the later evening hours. Okay, so you've seen your hour-by-hour forecast for tonight. Did you know that tomorrow we have a risk of severe weather? Let me show you that. We'll update you on everything right now. We're going to go through our risk of severe weather for tomorrow because the storms we see tonight are going to move into Minnesota by daybreak, and they'll be out of here. Hi, Kathy. Good to have you on board. But tomorrow, we have a risk of severe weather in the area, and the Storm Prediction Center has us in this low risk called a marginal risk. That means storms in the green area that you see here, Lake of the Woods, all the way out to the Botno area, all the way down to Bowman, Rame, and Baker, Montana, and Rapid City, South Dakota. All of these green areas, we might get a couple storms that become severe. We're going to have thunderstorms tomorrow. A few might become severe, not very many. It doesn't look like we have that much energy in the atmosphere. But look what happened tonight. We have one lonely severe thunderstorm that has become severe here in our area. So it can happen. Be prepared for hail and wind. Those will be the main risks from tomorrow's thunderstorms as we go through the day. But this is what you need to know about the timing of those storms. To do that, we're going to look right back at our model guidance, and let's take a look at that. Let's go, let's load up this same model here. I like it. Let's go ahead. take a look at our area. I'm going to load this up. Pardon me while I get this loaded up on the most recent helpful model that goes on into tomorrow. Here we go. Okay, so here's tonight's convection. It does move through Fargo. It does move through, or a chance of moving through, Grand Forks to Thompson. And this time frame here is 4Z. We're going to take 5. That's going to be 11 to midnight, okay? Then it moves off into Minnesota. There's more meandering thunder showers that will work its way through. Here is your daybreak forecast right here. This is showing that we'll have a smattering of showers making their way through Minnesota on the Minnesota side of the Red River. Okay, we go through Friday. South winds will really warm it up. It's going to be hot, hot, hot. And then as we go into the afternoon, with the heating of the day, here we go, afternoon time frame, and boom, here's where they fire. Now, do you see these isolated storms forming from Winnipeg down towards the northern Red River Valley and even near Fargo? These isolated storms have a chance at being strong, but the main event is back here to the west. So when they first fire, you're looking at about 6 to 7 o'clock at night, okay? When they first fire is when they'll have the greatest risk of being severe. As we get into the late night hours, we could have a few storms that remain windy. Gusty wind will be that main threat. We could have a storm or two that does have a little bit of spin to it, okay? Not saying that our risk of tornadoes is high, but these guys out here, the ones out in front of the storm, would be along a warm front, and those would have a little bit better chance at having some spin in them. Let me see if this is showing that. I don't think it looks too strong to me. No, I'm not seeing anything here that shows an overabundant amount of spin or shear on that axis. Let's take a look at that farther one out into Minnesota there. Nope, same thing goes there. Not too bad. So the main risk with tomorrow's thunderstorms as we go through the evening hours will be out from Bismarck to Jamestown in the early evening. And then it's going to be closer to midnight again before they push into the Red River Valley. And the risk of severe at that time of the night will not be as high. So late night thunderstorms in the Red River Valley, those will last into the morning hours, and then the gusty winds will be from the northwest, and then our hot weather will become cool weather. So here is what you need to know in your Friday forecast. This has been a long update, and I'll get you back to your severe thunderstorm coverage here in just 1 second. Here is a look at your forecast then for the next 7 days. Let's pop up this and talk a little bit about the fact that we're going to have a very hot and windy day with south winds 25 miles per hour, 83 degrees. The storms don't even arrive until the overnight, so I put the thunderstorm cloud right here, okay, in between the days. It's basically midnight, 11 o'clock before they make their way into the FM area. Behind the system, breezy and gusty northwest winds into Saturday and Sunday, and that will cool us off. Can't rule out spotty thunder on Sunday. Then after that, heading into next week, it looks like temperatures will hover right around 70 degrees. So your bottom line on Hutch's forecast here is hot Friday, then some late thunderstorm chances. Some could be strong to severe. Then unsettled next week with cooler weather. Look at this, a real cool pool, if you will, pushes its way in as we get into the latter part of the week, where beyond Thursday and Friday, we could have some areas with highs in the 50s. Oh yeah, evening grass mowed, so it can rain again. Yeah, I got half my grass mowed. Yeah, and then I heard thunderstorm warning. I better get back in there. So let's go ahead and end and close with one more look at the severe thunderstorm that's working its way through. If need be, I will be back on to cover this. It's in very rural parts of northern and central, that's the Barnes County area there. So we're talking about areas just north of the lake up there, north of the reservoir, as we look in towards Sibley and Pillsbury. Pillsbury, it looks like there's going to be some hail making its way in. Here is a look at our radar. Where'd you go, radar? There you are. Okay, so here's the radar. As we take a look at all that pink, that's where the hail core is. It remains strong. The risk of hail, as I look at the radar data from this storm, I'm going to click on my little information here. It's moving southeast at 18 to 20 miles per hour. That's pretty slow. Now, the probability of severe hail has gone up from the last time we looked. 90%, 1.25 inch diameter hail potential from this. So again, if you are in the area of Pillsbury, Sibley, or Laverne, south of Hope and out towards the areas west of Colgate, let me know what you are seeing with regards to this storm as far as the hail potential goes with it. Let me see if I've got any. I don't think I have any good cameras that can see the into that storm. You see this little area of the storm right here? There's a little hook shape to it. We looked at the velocity a little while ago. Wasn't seeing too much that looked too interesting. That's the base velocity, storm relative velocity. Nah, I'm not seeing anything strong with rotation on this storm at all. So that's the good news. But when we look at the hail core with it, there it is. And that's quite the hail core right there. It's moving out of Laverne now and heading right towards Pillsbury. And how long will it be before it gets into the Pillsbury area? Let's go ahead and take a look at that for you. So here is the storm. Here's the hail core. It's moving this direction. Let me just update the speed on this puppy just a little bit here. Oh, I think I might need to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, let me zoom out. That didn't work so hot. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do 20 miles per hour for the speed instead of 30 on this. This might be a little more accurate. It's really meandering slowly. This one is putting down an inch or more of rain by Doppler radar estimates. Pillsbury will be there in about 10 minutes. Walden by 28 minutes. Nolan, 48 minutes. So mainly rural areas. And notice that in the cone area here, 12 is the population this is picking up. So not a lot of folks in the path of this particular severe thunderstorm. But nonetheless, it is moving in the general direction of Fargo-Moorhead. I'll keep my eyes on it here as we go through. Let's go ahead and pick out what's going on out here near the Jamestown area. Let's take a look at the Bismarck radar, shall we, and see if it's picking up anything interesting. And reflectivity, here we go. So there is some rain heading into Jamestown after some cells are making their way out of Ypsilanti right now. Those are all heading in the general vicinity of Valley City. Lemoore, you're about ready to get some good thunder showers making their way in as well. Out near Ellendale, you have storms that are exiting the Ashley area. Those will be heading in your general direction as some more gully washers are on their way across the area. Now, the radar here is showing that we do have some showers in Roseau County, and also up in Kitson County right now. Oh, and there is a look. See, when is this thunderstorm warning set to expire? I'll double check that. But according to the text on this, it expires at 9:45. So in the next 13 minutes or so. Yeah, I think hopefully the livestock will be safe. They're very smart and they have a way of kind of getting out of the way of these things. And it's a very isolated storm. So again, hail is going to be the main threat. We could get with that hail core collapsing some stronger wind. And I'm afraid we're going to be having some areas of some pretty heavy rain with this little pimple of a cell as it works its way through. By the way, for you folks in the FM area, including myself, West Fargo, I'm putting it right at the curve there by the fairgrounds. It's 48 miles away, moving at 20 miles per hour. So 20, 40, about 2.5 hours yet before it gets to us. So about 11:30 is when Hutch has it. Anything coming to Otter Tail Lake? Jerain, it does look like there'll be a chance for some storms out in the lakes country, but it's going to be in toward the morning hours and probably more north of you than like northern Otter Tail County. This little line of storms that you see right here, the south end isn't too filled in, if you will. So this batch here moves over the Red River Valley tonight. So you're welcome. Amenia in the path? Well, it is. And it's you can hear a little thunder. So yeah, there is a chance for some thunder showers in and around the Amenia area. You can see it's right in the path of the storm. Here's Amenia as we go ahead and circle that. So there you are in Amenia. Look at the line or the trajectory of this storm here. And you can see that it is generally in the path. Let me tell you how long it'll take to get to you. I'll give you a Hutch estimate. How's that? Those are pretty good usually. All right, worth a bucket of warm. Never mind. 32 miles away, moving at 20 miles an hour. That's an hour and a half to Amenia. So let's put it at 10:30 plus a half hour. That would be close to 11. I'm going to go with 10:53. 10:53. I think Amenia will have a chance at seeing that storm. Will it still be severe? We'll see. It's remained pretty robust here. Now, we are losing our sun for the day, so the energy with regards to the heating of the day is gone. Look at our dew point temperature there in Cooperstown. It's 61 degrees over a dew point of 61. Right now, that's very humid air, but a storm just moved through, so that's not uncommon. Here in Fargo, the dew point is 53 degrees, so there's a lot of moisture in the lower atmosphere thanks to all of our rain that we've had. And so there'll be some good chances of some rain. Sally says thunder and lightning and rain right now in Ypsilanti. So, all right, there you have it. I'm going to step away for a moment. I'm going to maybe after I mowed the lawn, I might make myself a quick sandwich here and come on back and continue covering this. If it remains severe, I'll let you know about it. But if you are in the path of this storm, Paige, you're in the path of the storm. You'll want to be seeking shelter away from the windows. It's generally moving in that southeasterly direction. It is only moving at about 20 miles per hour. That storm system will be near these communities in the following amounts of time. Paige, about 30 minutes to, whoop, we just got a new warning. A new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. It does include Paige. It does include you folks out there want my phone. It's telling me, Hutch, you got a severe thunderstorm warning to let people know about. In air, it'll be there in about an hour. Pillsbury, it's over you. So if you're anybody out there in Pillsbury, let me know what you're getting with regards to the hail potential with the storm. Let me read the latest from the National Weather Service so you can see with me. This just issued as we're spitting right now. It does include parts of Cass, Barnes, and Steele County, the northwestern part of Cass, not the Fargo part of Cass yet, until 10:15 tonight. The radar picked up, and it's a Doppler radar indicated hailstorm making its way to the southeast at 20 miles per hour. 60-mile-an-hour winds and hail, upwards of 1 inch to 1.25 inches in diameter, as we've been showing you. Stay in, put the vehicle in the garage there, and maybe even let the family come in from the picnic because it's that time. One of the rules of thumb we like to let people know about is if you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning, because we have something called a bolt from the blue. You see this lightning bolt here? There's the hail and rain core. Yeah, there's a cloud there, but there's hail well away from the main event. So if you're hearing rumbles of thunder, it's time to get inside. Now, there's another rule of thumb, and you know what they say about thumbs. Rules and thumbs are made to be, well, let's just talk about this rule of thumb. The speed of sound. You see the flash of lightning first. Your eyes witness that flash of light traveling at the speed of light. And then you start counting. When you see the flash, you go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5. It takes 5 seconds for sound to travel 1 mile in the atmosphere or thereabouts, depending on the temperature and all of that jazz. But generally, it's a good rule of thumb, 5 seconds per mile. So if you see a flash of lightning, start counting. If you count to 10, how far away is that? Math quiz. Looking good in Emden, Brenda. Thank you for the report. That's fantastic. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until we go to the 10. What did I say? 10:15. So 10:15 is the time frame on that. A few more communities are in the path of the storm. Arthur is included in this one, by the way. Erie is included in this path or trajectory of the storm. And by about an hour's time, it should be just north of the Castleton area as well. Will it still be severe? That's the question of the night here. And I'm going to step aside right now. If you have a hail to report, let's go ahead and take a look at a camera from the DOT out there in North Dakota right now. This is the beauty of Hutch's weather. You can join me. I'm covering the weather for you. We'll keep you up to date with the very latest on this storm that's moving out of Cooperstown. Let's see if we can see it as we look in on the Buffalo camera. So dark skies for sure as we're losing the daylight for the day. It's going to be hard to see. So I'm not seeing anything too threatening out there on the Buffalo camera at this particular time. Now let's see what's let's go to this one. All right, so this is the Glenfield camera. Yeah, there's some water in the field there, but that's about all I'm seeing. It's not very good at seeing the clouds from these thunderstorms. How about the new Rockford camera? Oh boy, there's a break in the clouds there a little bit, but I think, are you between systems? Let me take a look. I'm perusing the radar here. Yeah, it looks like the new Rockford area is seeing the storms kind of exiting now. Yeah, kind of exiting. There's a little puppy off to the west, east of you rather. So we should see that on the camera to the east. And there we go. There's dark skies out there. You could see that there was some appreciable rain that made its way through. Nothing too threatening on that particular camera. Those are the only couple cameras that I have to look at these particular storms. There is some rain moving into Jamestown. We can look in for you on the I-94 corridor there from the DOT cameras. And look around the city, and we can see that there are some low clouds moving over the city right now. That's Jamestown. Valley City, that storm is kind of north of you. Maybe we can see it from the Ariska rest stop area here. Let's see if we take a look around. There's some dark clouds as we look off, just off to the west and maybe north a little bit. That looks south there, yeah. Okay, so there we have it. No real great camera to take a sneak peek at that particular storm as it's working its way in. Some storms moving into the Lemoore area right now. Let's go down south and see what we got on the cameras down here. We got Judd. We can take a look at that. Let's look at that. Ooh, for fun, huh? We got dark skies for sure out there, outside of the Gackle area. So a couple of thunder showers making their way into these vicinities here in southeast North Dakota. Also, if you're up in Roseau County, we have some garden variety thunder showers up there. It looks like the lightning frequency has waned off with those storms as well. We still have quite a bit of lightning, or at least a little bit of lightning, with this hail cell making its way through the Pillsbury area right now. Is rain to come from the west towards Fargo around Interstate 94 anytime tonight? Brenda, yes. This one thunderstorm is heading in the general direction of Fargo. The stuff out in the James River Valley right now is heading in the general direction of Fargo. The best chance of Fargo's rain shower is going to be, well, this system here that's severe. If it were to make its way at 20 miles per hour towards Fargo, it's a little over 2 hours away. So that puts us close to midnight, okay? So that first wave, close to midnight. The other cells that are moving in our general direction are about 75 miles away at the earliest. So those puppies moving at about that 20 to 25 mile per hour range puts them in town in about 3 hours. So 2 to 3 hours, Brenda, and that's when Hutch is giving you. All right, everybody, I'm going to take myself just a little break. Let's see. The family of the extreme hot peppers hail, he says. Oh, the pepper farmers. Yeah, just one storm, so hopefully it steers around all the peppers. I like my peppers for sure. So we got to take care of the jalapenos. Cover your jalapenos, cover your habaneros, cover your bell peppers, and maybe even your, well, anything you just planted you want to kind of cover up because it's that time of year again. All right, I'm going to take a little a siesta. I'm going to get caught up with a couple things around the house here. I'll keep my eyes on this peeled very closely. If this storm is approaching your area, hey, pop onto Hutch's weather here. Let us know what you're seeing. The largest diameter hailstone would be very helpful. Let me see if the Weather Service has had any reports here with regards to what's being seen. Here we go with this particular storm. A third of an inch of rain. Quarter-size hail's main threat. Nope, I'm not seeing that they've gotten any storm reports either. Please, 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 if you have storms moving into your area, it's very helpful to get the reports from you so that we know what these storms are producing. It looks capable of 1 to 1.25 inch hail. It's moving right over the Pillsbury area now and heading towards Page. I'll keep you updated right here. You're watching Hutch's Weather. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll be back if needed if this storm remains severe.